Aloha and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Teri Edmonds. I do a lot of videos. Some of them are on day in the life of, some fun things, but today is specifically shoe repair and specifically Birkenstocks. And this is a sole removal. This is by request from Jordy C, my viewer out there, and also Snippet from Canada, both of these people from Canada. Thank you for your request. I always appreciate it. And so you specifically wanted to know how to remove a Birkenstock sole. It can be tricky. Some of them come off really easily, but I imagine you only contacted me because you weren't having an easy time with it. So some of the tools that I use is thinner paint. This is a contact cement. Well, this is actually a thinner that I use with my industrial contact cement, but you can get this at your local Ace Hardware in Canada. I don't know what the equivalent is, but I put it in an oil can. It's nice because you can put it around the edges to remove some of the glue. I'll do it section by section. If it gives me a hard time, I'll pull, put some thinner, pull some more, put some thinner. So that's one way to do it. The other way is, and these are the other tools I use these nippers. This one is my kind of dull one, which I like to use sometimes. It serves a purpose. And then this is the sharper one. So when it comes to Birkenstock sole removal, I like the dull ones because they don't cut through the material. They just grab it with a little bit of teeth. So that's nice. And you know, I happen to have this shoe jack. I don't know what you would use at home. I'm sure you could just, I mean, cobblers used to do it sitting on the ground. So anyway, I'm taking this, see if I can show you a little clearer. I'm holding the cork. I'll come on this side. So I'm holding the cork down and really grabbing that material and pulling. And some of you had written to me saying that your shoe was coming apart when you did this. This is where, and that's an important thing, this is where you want to use the thinner, okay? So I'll probably, with this one, I can tell it's giving me a little bit of trouble and I want to keep the cork bed in shape. So I'm going to put a little bit of thinner just to kind of get that going. You can't hurt the cork. I don't like to get it on the leather, so I'm pointing the shoe down so that the thinner drips downward onto this crepe sole. But it'll get it there into the edges. That's one of many lovely things about Birkenstocks is that they're so well made. I love Birkenstocks. So there we go. I'll get it started here. And again, I don't want that real sharp one. And see, it's still giving me. There we go. Not sure if you can see that. So I'm getting right in there. And you might take off a little bit of the cork, but before it gets severe, I come in here with my razor knife and I'll cut through some of those threads of the cork material. They put like it's not a net, but they do put sort of a netting finish that allows the sole to stick to the footbed. So just gonna slightly cut through that, and I'm going to tell you, sometimes these things come off like that. Sometimes you just build your muscles. So I think that's what this one's going to be. It's going to be a muscle builder. But there we go. And I want to make sure that usually I'll put it towards you a little bit more here. So it's nice. It's coming right off of that leather there. Easy peasy. Put a little more thinner in there. This stuff evaporates, so it's easy. And again, I'm just kind of pulling it. See, that makes it so much easier. It just pulls right apart. No sense in using your wrists and everything too much. But there you go. And I've even experienced, this one's not so bad. See, it's coming off pretty easy like that. Especially around the leather. It almost always comes off easier on the leather than it does on that cork. So I sometimes I'll start in spots like that just to get it going so that I can get my knife in there. But the other thing I'll do, I have the luxury of this big sander behind me. And so I will put, if I can't get certain spots off, see like this one right here, as I'm pulling it, it's doing that. And I think that's what you guys are talking to me about here. And so, it's really getting a grip in there. So I'm going to definitely put some thinner on that so it just lets go of the material. And I love this oil can. Boy, if you do any home projects, having one of these on hand, as well as the glue gun. I use an oil can for my contact cement. It doesn't dry out. And I love it. It's super handy for any workshop. So here we have it. And usually I have gloves on both hands. No reason why I'm not today. Turn this way so you can see it a little bit more. And so let's see if we can get another start over here. And the other thing that you can do is you can use a heat gun. This one, it's working, so I'm doing it this way. But okay, so here's another trick. If you don't like the thinner, and usually if I was doing, I usually wear a mask when I'm doing the thinners. But the other thing I like is a heat gun, your classic, workshop heat gun. And, paying close attention to make sure you don't overcook the sole. But basically, we're just going to heat up this outside of the surface. And going in about, what's that, maybe 2 inches away. I can see it heat up. And, you can smell it. But this is nice because it'll permeate the sole, go down into that glue, and loosen it up some more. I would have to say that I don't use one of these procedures exclusively. You almost always have to incorporate at least 2 of them, between the razor knife, the thinner, and the heat gun. So here we go. Let's try that again. Let's see. And sometimes it's nice to give the thinner a few minutes to work to activate that glue. And there we go. This is pretty typical of what it's like to, take off a Birkenstock sole. That's why in some of the questions, I've heard you say that you love them, you've had these shoes forever, they're all broken in, blah, blah, blah. Is it worth taking it to a cobbler? And I think yes. Prices vary, but, around the country, around the globe. But I think you could get it done, I'm pretty sure, for $60 or less. And that just depends where you are. But anyway. And if you go to my shopping cart on my website, TeriEdmonds.com, I'll put a link here for you to DIY supplies. I will put a link to the different tools that I'm using, and it's going to be called Birkenstock Sole Remover. And yeah, so that's good for the muscles. It's good to get a workout. So one of the other things is this nipper only goes so far, so I'm going to go ahead and use my razor knife just to cut off some of the excess, so that, and this razor knife is dull. This is the other thing. I love these razor knives that are just easy to undo, flip them around, change out your blade, especially when I'm doing high volume production, which I do a lot. You can just get right in there. There we go. There we go. So this is that webbing material I was talking to you about. You can see it has like these little strings in it, and it makes it more challenging, but it also makes your Birkenstock last. And I'm pretty much there. Haha! Voila! And that will be your successful ending as well, if you follow what I just did. So this gal, if you watch the other, my most popular video is how to resole the Birkenstock, which is how you guys found me in the first place. This one has got that edge that's been worn down, and I've had some comments from you guys, I think, about can that be fixed. This is actually a really easy fix, and if you watch the other video, you'll see. And so yeah, you've got your leather all molded to your feet, your insoles are molded to your feet. So why not just change out the soles, maybe build it up? It's not a lost cause. I include that in the price of my Birkenstock shoe repairs. So your other local cobbler probably will do the same. Or heck, do it yourself. I love it. All right, thanks for joining me. I hope that answers your questions. Jordy C and Sniped, please let me know if you have any more questions and I will hook you up. Have a great day. Remember to subscribe. Aloha.